And welcome back to another episode of the New Generation Challenge podcast. Titi, we're finally back for season 41 of the challenge.
I know, I'm so excited. I feel like we haven't podcasted in so long, and I'm really excited for this new cast. I'm excited to see some rookies out there. I feel like we haven't had any in a few seasons.
Yeah, there
So,
hasn't really been rookies since Raido Dies, I guess.
yeah.
And even with that, it was like they were brought on because they knew somebody, not necessarily because they were rookies. You have to almost go back to Spies, Lies, and Allies when we got Michelle, when we got Michaela, when we got some of these players for the first time, Emmanuel.
Yeah, we really have not had any rookie, like true rookies well, I guess USA too,
Yeah,
but that's kind of a different
you count
format. So,
another exactly.
I'm excited for the season. I'm excited to see these players, and I'm excited to talk about the season as it goes on.
Absolutely, same here. So what we will do, this is a cast review episode. First of all, for those of you who may be new tuning in, my name's Brett Parnell,
I'm TT Fernandez.
and we're co-hosting the New Generation Challenge podcast back for another season. We did this for the last couple seasons, and let's get started with our cast review. I have an article up with all the cast photos. I'm going to show my screen in a second, and then we can just go through each player one by one, give our initial reactions for the season. This will be a pretty quick one, and then we'll be back with, I guess, the
The
probably another
preview.
fast episode for the preview, and then a full episode on episode one, through which airs 3 weeks from tonight on MTV for
I
you guys in the
know.
States, and I'm hoping it'll be on Slice up here in Canada.
Yeah, that's crazy to think we have, so 3 weeks from today's episode one, 2 weeks from today is gonna be our pretty much our first real episode of the season because that's when we really get introduced to the cast.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited to see everything going on.
All right, so let me press screen share and let's get going. We're gonna start where else? With CT.
Wow,
Probably the
CT.
biggest name on this cast. And it's pretty hard to get a bigger name in the challenge universe. I don't think there is one.
Yeah, I think CT is kind of tired of like so he obviously won Double Agents is the last time he won, and then we saw him on 39 as a mercenary. We saw him on 40 pretty briefly, and I think he's ready to get his bite back, and we'll have to see how he does. I feel like you can never underestimate CT, and every time you think, oh, he's older or he's whatever, he just surprises you. So hopefully we get to see a lot of him, and I'm excited to see him come back.
Absolutely. I think who knows which way it's going to go in terms of CT's game, but you're absolutely right. You can't make that assumption that he's older and he's not going to do well. You also, though, I think in the last few seasons, can't make the assumption of if I go against CT, I'm done.
Yeah,
He's proven at this
absolutely.
age that he certainly can be beat, and now he's maybe on a level that is competitive with the rest of the men on this cast, whereas before, if you were against CT, he'd smash you to a million pieces.
Yeah, and I think seen different eras of CT. I can't remember exactly. We do know he won World of Worlds 2, and I think before that there were some maybe one season where he wasn't like he went out earlier or whatever. I do remember Dirty 30. I'm pretty sure he got third with Jordan first and Derek Kaczynski, which we'll talk about later, being second. So I think with CT, it's kind of in waves and it kind of flows around. And I think truly, like, once he's got his mind on something, you can't count him out. So we'll have to see where he's at this season.
And I guess I just got to bring up right away because you mentioned Jordan. This is going to be a bit of a different challenge season compared to the past few years. We have no Jordan, no Tori, no Michelle, no Devin, no Horacio. Like a lot of these names we've got seen as the future faces of the franchise, and I think they all still are the faces of the franchise at this point of the game. but have competed in so many seasons now that they just kind of all decided to take a season off together.
Yeah, I agree. And I think it also, like you said, it's so many seasons in a row. And like, if you're doing pretty much every season, you're not really getting a break from the challenge. You're either filming or you're watching it live. Sometimes there's even overlap throughout
Yeah,
those times. So I think that the faces that we've seen in the last few seasons are kind of just to take a step back and take a bit of a break with it and then see, I don't know, I feel like once 40 or even All Star 6, we faces back. But I don't know. I do like adding new people into the mix because you always have people taking breaks or people retiring or whatever. So I'm interested and I'm excited to see this too.
absolutely. And we'll get into the people that are coming into the mix in the second half of this episode, but there's definitely a lot of players here I'm looking forward to seeing. Moving down, we have another one of the legendary players of this game, and Ashley Mitchell's coming back to the main show. We saw her on All Stars last year, I guess aired a little early this year, with her appearance after being kicked off as Spies, Lies, and Allies. And now, following that interaction with her and Anissa as rivals, she's back on the main show and in a house again with Anissa.
Yeah, I don't know how that duo is going to do because obviously we saw that they didn't really get along on All Stars 5, but I feel like a lot of times once you're eliminated, you kind of just let bygones be bygones and
Yeah,
maybe move on. But I could see it going both ways. I am super excited to see Ashley back on the flagship. I think this is like more of her environment, and I think she thrives better in this type of format.
absolutely. And I think it's going to be really fun to see Ashley play with some of these newer players because, like, if you look at, say, players on the original shows that, like Ashley, caused a lot of chaos, I'd think of names like Sydney. I'd think of names like Blue. And now they're both here, and it's going to be a question of do some of these players look up to Ashley's game or do they want to take her out?
Yeah, or if they respect, I feel like a lot of people underestimate. Ashley. I feel like she's one of those people assume that she's not as a competitor, and then she's a two times champion, so she's came in and really shown herself.
Well
So
said. I mean, all me highlighting at the bottom, all I need to do is look at that and say that she should be in the conversation for one of the best women of all time.
absolutely, yeah.
All
Especially
right.
two wins, you can't try to say that they didn't deserve two wins. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
I mean, there's Ashley, Jenny, and Kara, the three people with more than one that have
And uh John A, if you count All Stars, and Camilla does have two flagships.
true. Yeah, thank you. Moving down, we have Turbo back. And it does not matter what kind of season it is. If Turbo is in the challenge, you know it's going to be wild to watch.
Yeah, super excited to see Turbo.
Same.
He is so funny and he just takes things so personal, and it's so funny to watch him like freak out about the smallest things like Jordan copying his walk and this like just things like that. I'm excited to see Turbo, and I'm hoping that we get to see him do very well. I feel like in All Stars, him and Nani obviously did very well, but I think that Turbo still got a lot of gas in the tank, and
Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely. I'm also think he's going to do very well. I think the one thing to watch for in this season is we've seen Turbo recently, but we've seen him play with all people he knows, be it in All Stars. In a house that's half full of rookies, how are they going to adapt to living with Turbo? And it could be some that is very traditional for the challenge, like how the whole house wanted to get rid of him at the beginning of Ride or Dies, helping his opponents in order to get there. We could, in complete contrast, though, see some of these newer players say, hey, Turbo is chaotic. He's probably a great shield to have in this game. He does well in challenges. And if the other people don't let that are experienced vets in the house have their history with him, he's a perfect person to work with the rookies.
Yeah, and I think it also depends on whether or not the rookies have watched his seasons before.
Yeah,
Particularly World of Worlds comes to mind just because I feel like if they see how good of a competitor he is, and he is like all like his mindset, I feel like is like a Jordan mindset of like he enjoys being in pain and competing and pushing through it.
yeah,
So I feel like if they're smart and they've watched that, they would be like, I don't want this. I don't want to be on his bad in a
yeah.
way. If they haven't, they might be like, what is wrong with this crazy person?
And
Like,
it may very well be different for different rookies because I know MTV put out a video today that was like, "How long have you been a challenge fan?" as promo with all the rookies talking. And some of them know everything about the show, and some of them you can tell found out what the show was when production gave them a call and said, "We like you on your original show."
or maybe they like read up some Wikipedia and said, oh, yeah, I know.
Yeah,
You never know. You never know.
exactly. Or maybe if you're in the case of Big Brother, you know Josh or Casey, and if you're a Survivor player, you know Michelle.
Yeah.
Moving down, we have Naya back from season 40, so she's one of the few that's turning around and doing it right over again. And I'm excited to see Naya in this season. I just met her right after season 40 finished. She was so great to chat with and loved watching her on that season. When I met her was like after they were done filming, but before it aired. And then now to see her come back as 41, I think she's someone with a lot of experience in the show, a lot of life experience, and someone who some of these newer players may very well look up to as a way to help them get through the first couple of weeks in that environment.
Yeah. And she was a college athlete. I'm
Yeah.
pretty, she, like her, very tall, very, she's somebody that's just really very athletic. I've seen her do very well in the past. We've also seen her be more of a, or in on 40 that she was just relaxing. So it totally depends. I don't know. I feel like she's also one of those people that even if she doesn't train that much, she still shows up and does a really, really good job. So I'm expecting her to do pretty well this season.
And while we may be missing our favorite player this season, we certainly have most of the Ladies of Leisure Alliance still coming back in. So that's fun.
Yes. Excited.
And also, you mentioned that Naya was previously a college athlete, which is a big help for this. She also does currently one of the most physically demanding jobs that there is, which is being a flight attendant on a private jet. That takes a lot of making sure you're prepared for all situations. I have a friend who's a flight attendant on a commercial jet in Europe, and it is not easy. Moving down, we have Derek Chavez. I mentioned one member of the LOL Alliance. Derek's now another one coming back. And he, I think, shocked a lot of people with his return on 40, coming in second place just behind Jordan. And I mean, that's effectively a win in modern challenge world. And I think at this point now, Jordan's not here. CT and Bananas are a bit older. Derek might be coming into this saying, hey, people thought I'd go home early on 40. Now I'm here to win it.
Yeah, I absolutely love Derek. I think he's a great competitor, somebody who has been misunderstood a lot. We've seen him be an early boot in a lot of seasons, and on season 40, he was able to show why he belongs in there and why he's a challenger. I will say, I think people who just watch 40 are gonna, this guy's not just here to have fun and
Yeah.
whatever. He's a very good competitor. So I don't know. I feel like maybe they're gonna want to target him potentially
True.
just because of how
Absolutely. It
well he did.
could definitely go either way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Moving down, we have another legend of the show coming back, and that's Cara Maria.
I always love to see Carl. I think She's again one of the best, obviously. And we saw her do very well on 40, even though she didn't make the final. The elimination that she went out on was very, very hard, very grueling. Respect to both of those girls for um staying afloat that long. But yeah, I think Cara is somebody that you can pretty much always bank on either going far or going into the final.
Yeah, absolutely. And it'll be interesting to see with everything that happened in 40 and in All Stars 4, right before that, how Kara's game is different now that it seems like she's finding her way into a new alliance.
Mm-hmm.
Kara, I think, has finally done something she should have done 15 years ago, and that's 15 seasons ago, and that's put any relationship with Loyal behind her.
Yeah.
That was long overdue for her. The fact that she's been able to rebuild this relationship that with Tori that didn't seem to be great before
Mm-hmm.
is fantastic. I love seeing the two of them working together. It seems like she's also close with Olivia, who's on this season, close with Michelle outside the game. Um, I was totally shocked, but so happy for her to see. I don't know if you heard of that. There's a rumor or something that I think Tori is in a relationship with one of Kara's cousins or something.
Oh, that was on the challenge?
I don't know if it's the same cousin who's on the challenge or someone else, but I obviously we don't know people's extended families if they're not on the show
Yeah.
and if they don't have a big social media presence with them. I mean, shout out to Kim and Katie, probably the two loved ones that we actually know a lot about.
Yeah. Yeah, I did not know that. That's interesting. Hopefully, they're very happy together and yeah, I'm always gonna be rooting for Kara.
Yeah, absolutely. Same. Moving down, we have Aviv back, who won her first season, went very far in 40 despite not playing since I think it was season 12. And now she's doing back to back seasons. So Aviv's gone from winning to her military service in the Middle East to back to the United States, starting a family, and now she's back in reality star mode doing 2 seasons in a row. And I could not be more excited to see her again.
And she's kicking ass. Yeah,
Yeah,
she is an absolute monster. I really enjoyed watching Aviv on our screens during 40. I think her return was long overdue. And I'm glad that she's still wanting to play, you know? She said she came back for and was not done with the show, which I really love to see.
absolutely. I love that too. I'm excited to see her. I'll obviously always be the type people who know me online to be supporting a Israeli Air Force veteran. So proud of her service. I just hope that she cannot play with Johnny this time because I kind of hated watching that last season. That I was so excited to see her, and I was so excited to see Jenny, and then they got caught up in this bananas cult.
That's a funny way to put it, but yeah, I 100% agree with you. Military service in Israel, we always respect that very much. And I think that definitely helps prepare you for something like this.
Oh,
So
absolutely.
Aviv is surely gonna do very well, in my opinion.
Same. Moving down, we have the first half of a well-known challenge couple this season that just made some massive news, and that is Theo coming in to his fifth challenge season. He's done 4. Surprisingly, hasn't won yet. Theo's the type of player that you expect to get a win by the end of his career. Um, I know there was injuries involved. Him and Sarah were certainly a huge threat in the world championships together. And then he worked his way back into the main show and has been doing great, is now in a relationship with Olivia. And they just announced they're expecting their first child together.
Yeah, I'm super excited. First of all, congratulations to the both of them. I think
Yeah.
that they're gonna be great parents.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm excited to see Theo back as well. I
I'm just
think
excited to see if Theo's going to end up American or if Olivia's going to end up British.
I feel like he's gonna end up American. I feel like I've heard him say something about that before. But yeah, Theo's an ex-Olympian. He's
Yeah.
definitely a threat, definitely somebody to watch out for in a game like this. And I expect him to go very far, especially with having his girlfriend there and also having done a few seasons recently. I feel like he's pretty well connected.
Yeah, I'd agree with you. He is definitely well connected, and the fact that he's on this season without Jordan, who managed to beat him in the World Championships final, and that he was on a season with last time just opens the door for, well, anyone, but especially for a huge threat like Theo to finally get that win when you just always have the same guy in your way.
Yeah, I agree. I'm excited for him.
All right, moving down, we have the second half. Olivia Kaiser is back. It's her going fourth challenge now. She was in 38, 39, and 40 back to back. She's now doing 41. So 4 main show seasons in a row. Um, what to say, Olivia probably should have won season 38, her rookie season, if it wasn't for her injury. She and Michelle are clearly the two rookies that we've had recently that have really taken this franchise over, and
Absolutely, yeah.
is the one Love Island player back when Love Island USA was Paramount, was like a Paramount CBS production. That production is willing to ignore that whole transition from CBS to Peacock and keep calling her back for obvious reasons.
Yeah, there's really, I think you hit the nail on the head with that. There's really not much more I can say other than I think this is going to be Olivia's probably last season for a while just
Yeah,
because how we found out she's pregnant, you know? So
yeah, it'll take a while.
I'm really looking forward to seeing and I'm excited
I
what she's
mean,
got for this
I'm
season. I think the very good contender for that win. She's hungry, she wants it, and she's good.
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely agree with you there. I know I've said on this podcast that they need to do a Ride or Dies 2 with same gender partners. I really want her and Michelle to be on a team, so MTV maybe hold that off for a few years. But let
Yeah, I
her kid
agree.
become about two first.
Yeah, that definitely needs to happen.
It does. But no, I can't wait to see Olivia back. I've met her both in Atlanta and in New York City. Cannot wait to see her become a mother, and so happy for both her and Theo. And I think that both of them are a huge threat this season, especially being together. The only thing that I think puts a target on them is the fact that they are together and there's nobody else in that situation.
Yeah, they're a couple, and that can be threatening to some people. So,
I mean, we saw Amber go home, despite it, Amber being like the least threatening player of Survivor winners that were, went home second because
yeah,
she was married to Boston Rob.
and even if it wasn't Boston Rob, if there's two people that are married, you know that
Yeah,
they're going to have each other's backs no matter what.
that's
So,
it. All right, moving on. We have Michaela coming back from Survivor Millennials versus Gen X. She hasn't played as much as I think people would have expected, but Michaela, every season she's on, is a big fan favorite.
yeah, and I think she is probably going to be everybody's cup of tea the way that I see it. I think we saw that in USA too, how she kind of has a pretty strong mindset in the way that she plays the game, but
Yeah,
she's so good at doing it that she can act like that. I feel like
exactly.
if somebody wasn't very good at the game, then they would be like, "No, you can't like stop talking like that or whatever." But yeah, she's done very well. Her
I
first
mean, that's
season, she
effectively how she got voted off of Survivor her first time. But
mhm.
in contrast with that, in the challenge, you cannot get voted out. You can only get voted in. And you don't want to
Mhm.
be in against Michaela.
Oh, absolutely not. And we'll have to see how she does. I expect her she's one of those people that pretty much knows she's going to
Yeah.
either to win the eliminations or people are going to be like, I do not want to go in against Michaela in the eliminations.
That's it.
So, yeah, very good competitor.
All right. Next, we have Leroy coming back for his 16th challenge. Still hasn't won the show, but I mean, 41 is just as good as ever.
Yeah, I love seeing Leroy. I'm really glad that he unretired after he retired. Um, and I really want to see Leroy get that win. I don't know if that is gonna be what's gonna happen this season.
Yeah.
I think Leroy is. I could see Leroy doing very well in a season where he has a really good partner that is good at his weaknesses, which is more of like the puzzles and stuff like
Which
that.
he had in All Stars and he still didn't win. So.
I don't know. I don't know if we'll ever see Leroy win. I do enjoy seeing him back on the screen, but I'm not, I feel like we haven't seen that drastic of an improvement in his gameplay season after season.
Yeah, agreed. All right, moving down, we have Derek Kaczynski coming back after probably the closest elimination we've ever seen. I'm sure 50%.
With a broken leg.
Yeah, with a broken leg. I'm sure 50% of the challenge community still thinks he won. 50% still think Horacio won. You're probably never gonna sway anybody's opinion on that.
Oh, about the box, he almost beat Corey.
Oh, yes, you're right.
But yeah, I don't know. I still think, like, I remember we talked about it in a lot, and I still think that he won. I mean, they went back and showed them the footage, and they said, "Yep, he wins." So to me, he's the champion. I love seeing Derek. I think Derek is one of those underdogs that has so much fire under him, and he's never gonna quit on you, and that's something that we saw. And beating somebody like Horacio in a endurance challenge, basically running and sprinting and doing that, is very, very impressive. And also holding up his own in that boxing elimination against Corey. I really like seeing Derek, and I hope he does very well.
Yeah, hopefully as well. The one player I think still represent, well, him and CT are both representing Era One from this show from last season. Mm-hmm. So there's still some interest in coming back to the main show from players that started all the way back in the first 10 seasons.
Yeah, and I think he's one of those that just absolutely loves coming back and will never say no to that call.
Yeah.
And I'm excited that he's back.
Moving down, we have Johnny Bananas for his 25th season. Speaking of someone who will never say no to that call.
Bananas. We've talked so much about Bananas. Anybody who's even heard of the challenge knows who Bananas is.
Yeah.
The 7-time champion.
There's even people who don't know of the challenge who know who Bananas is because they've seen him on Traders or something.
Yeah, he's not everybody's cup of tea. I don't know. I feel like Bananas recently has been doing pretty well, as in making finals. He's made pretty much every final except World Championships.
Yeah.
So I always expect Bananas to but there are some one-off seasons where like people just throw him in early and whatever.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't know. What do you think?
I think if Johnny's gonna come, you have to bring him. He's so well known in, like we said, in this show, but also just in the reality TV community elsewhere. It's gonna be interesting compared to last season because Aviva's here, but Rachel's not here, Jenny's not here, Loyal's not here. So I'm not sure if it's going to be a season that Johnny does well, meaning that he finds maybe he's the ultimate experienced player that ends up working with a bunch of these new players because he has to. Or is he just going to try to compete his way to the end and maybe go out somewhere around the first third of the game?
Yeah, I feel like you never know with him. Either he makes it to the end, wins, or does pretty well in the final, or he goes out very early. There's really no in between with Bananas.
One thing to note that I thought of when I saw this cast photo is, and it comes back down to that point of will he work with anyone, and will he work with the rookie side or not? At least that came to my mind. I don't know about everybody. Some of these people I've just never heard of before, but two of the well-known names, at least that I know of, America and Sydney, both are already in relationships. That kind of diminishes his strategy a little bit, because at least some of the quote Mariah characters on this season could be already taken. Could there be other players that might be I'm looking available that could be interested in playing that card with Johnny? Maybe Adrienne, maybe Dee. We'll see. I mean, Dee at this point has already won almost as much money as he has to reality television. She's a huge star in her own, and we're going to talk about Dee, a massive yes for the challenge producers to be able to get here. But yeah, Dee is certainly an option that he could work with. Probably, I mean, that would make perfect sense. The fact that
needs,
both
like to find his like 23-year-old challenge girlfriend.
Yeah, but I mean that both of them are ultra competitive. Both of them are very
strong,
have won games before. So yeah, I could see that really.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on, we have Anissa back again. Speaking of people who will never say no, this is her 20th challenge. But unlike Johnny with 7 wins, it's her 20th challenge with 0 wins.
Yeah, we've said this on pretty much every cast reveal. I don't care to see Anissa on the flagship.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't. I think maybe All Stars would be an environment for her.
That's true.
But I don't know. I'm not a fan.
That being said, I will say I'm willing to certainly give her one more chance here, because she clearly has been, if you follow Anissa on social media, putting in a lot of work to get back to being more in shape like she was when she was much younger. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it's 41. It's all about veteran players battling new threats. That's the whole theme of the season. Why not have a veteran player like Anissa? And if it doesn't work out, then I mean, it's time to retire.
But I feel like we always say that.
Yeah, you're right. We do. But we'll see. Yeah, probably not.
She has put in a lot of work, and you can see she's really also bettering her overall health as well.
Yeah. Moving down, we have Rogan coming back from the UK. It is his second challenge, third challenge.
I think third.
Yeah, I thought so.
Because he did, I think, Vendettas and then War of the Worlds 2. Yeah. I was very shocked to see Rogan.
He did Total Madness if I'm being honest. When he went against Jay.
Oh yeah, so maybe fourth.
Yeah.
Fourth, yeah. Because remember that first one that he did? He got kicked off because he couldn't run up the mountain or something.
That's like right. That's why I forgot he was on there. That was Vendettas.
But I was very shocked on this list. That was somebody I was not expecting.
Yeah, I was not expecting him either. But certainly glad to see Rogan here. I think he adds another strong physical threat that also is great on TV. We'll see how he plays out and if he's willing to play socially at all, or if it's just going to be give this 120% like he did against Jay. But
yeah, I don't know. I feel like he's also just been out of the challenge universe for so long.
True.
That I don't know if he's going to be somebody that's easier for them to say just because he's been gone for so long.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right. And another legend of this game that still hasn't got a win, Nani.
And also doesn't say no to the calls.
Yes. That is becoming the quick theme of this episode.
I'm excited to see Nani. I like Nani as a reality TV character, I guess you would say. And yeah, I enjoy her on TV. I am excited. I follow her on Instagram, and she said that she goes into more about her breakup with Casey during season 41. So I'm kind of interested to hear about that.
Nice. Yeah, that will definitely be interesting to see because we haven't seen her on a challenge single for quite a while.
Mm-hmm.
And even before, like, if her relationship with Casey started on Spies, Lies, and Allies, they were effectively kind of floating their way to becoming a couple back in Total Madness.
Oh yeah,
So
definitely.
it'll be interesting to see how that last few years and not only the relationship, but an engagement and then a breakup affects how she plays the game and who she might be working with now that she's a little more free to make her own decisions and be not tied to alliances that Casey is already in through being a Big Brother winner.
And Nani's just so well connected. Like
Yeah,
nobody wants to say her name, nobody wants to vote her in. And we got Turbo, who now they're good friends again. So
absolutely. So that marks our end of the veterans. Let's get into the new threats. We probably won't know as much about most of these people. There's certainly some that I have a decent amount of knowledge about, as I'm sure you do, but
mm-hmm.
I have some information that I've been able to find on at least everyone. We'll start with Lekka. I'm excited to see Lekka. I'm probably one of the like 0.2% of challenge fans who've seen Lekka on a reality show before, simply because she competed on a show on the Canadian Broadcasting Channel. She was on a show called Canada's Ultimate Challenge, which is kind of like the challenge, but it's Canadian public television, so therefore is focused strictly on the competition side, not on the drinking and hookup side. Also, within that show, she's working with and being coached by some of the most famous athletes in the history of Canada. Donovan Bailey was a guest coach on it, who was the fastest man in the world at the Atlanta Olympics, breaking the world record.
Oh wow.
Canadians who played in the NFL were on it. There were, why am I on Bananas' page when I was on the Canada's Ultimate Challenge page? There we go. Clara Hughes, who's a Canadian gold medal speed skater from the Salt Lake and Turin Olympics, was part of the cast. So she's clearly going to be a massive competitor. And I think of all the female vets, of all the female new vets, Lekka's probably the one I'm most looking forward to giving a vet that has winning experience like Kara or Michaela a good battle in an elimination.
Yeah, I remember I looked at her Instagram and she looks very, very fit. So I'm excited to see how she does in the challenge.
And she and one other person we're going to talk about later today, fun fact, that I just love, share the title for, despite us having what, 39, 38, 37 gave us so many international players. Lekka and one other person on this cast show to be the first ever Canadian on the challenge. We've had
Crazy
people born in Mexico, of course, in England, Spain, Germany, Israel, Nigeria, Australia. We've never had a Canadian on the challenge yet until her and one other person.
That's exciting. I'm excited for the Canadian fans to get to see more people that are from their country or even starting to see people from their country.
Yeah, absolutely. Moving next, we have Gabe. Just my quick observation, I think Bruce is going to become a big Gabe fan. And he is not only from World Wrestling Entertainment, but Gabe also played rugby at a university in St. Louis, Missouri, where the Reality Realm host is from.
That's interesting. I've never heard of him, if I'm being honest
I haven't either, but looking into his bio, he looks like he's going to be a strong competitor in both wrestling and in rugby. I mean, that sets you up for a physical elimination pretty well. That's all I know. And moving next, we have Dee, who we just talked about. Go ahead.
I'm super excited to see Dee. I'm a little bit shocked to see her this season because we obviously know she was just on Survivor 50.
She filmed
Um,
this first.
yeah, but I mean,
Yeah.
because you know how CBS is a little bit weird about that sometimes,
Yeah,
or they're a little bit weird about that.
they
Um,
certainly are. Something tells me, though, that it's like as much as CBS is weird about that, CBS, and I mean, I think MTV is the same when it comes to, say, bananas, but CBS seems to have different rules for different players.
hmm
And the fact that she did trailers, and I mean, yes, Peacock is part of NBC, and I think that's probably bigger than the challenge just being Viacom, and like MTV and CBS is a lot closer, whereas NBC and CBS are direct competitors. But like
hmm
being in the trailers cost Carolyn probably a spot on being on 40. In contrast, Dia's back out there. She finished the challenge and went to Fiji to film Survivor about 10 days later.
Yeah, that's
Or at least got home from the challenge, though probably sequestered for a certain period of time. That's no indication of how she finished. We have no clue. But
yeah, one of the most prominent and female winners, Survivor. She's very athletic. She's got a lot of heart.
yeah.
I really enjoyed her on Survivor, and I'm really excited that she's crossing over to the challenge world.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, she's probably, I mean, I would say it's a perfect cross two at this point because she's probably the most strongest female winner since Michelle in
Mm-hmm.
Survivor. And then Natalie Anderson before Michelle. So we've
Mm-hmm.
seen these players with a similar archetype that are just very physically and mentally strong women win Survivor. And then the challenge seems to be bringing on quite a few of them.
Yeah,
I
I'm
mean,
excited
Sarah
to
was
see
in
her.
that spot and she went into USA and then into the World Championships with Theo.
Yeah, I expect her to do very well, and I also expect to see her again. I think this is
Yeah, definitely.
more, I don't know, no, I don't know about more, but it's pretty much right up her alley. I think
Yeah.
she would do very good in this format.
I mean, we did something like, I mean, thinking back to like the early 20s, they did a battle of the seasons with all the real world seasons. Are we getting to a point where we could soon maybe start having like a challenge with a Survivor team against the Big Brother team against an MTV team? Probably.
I feel like I would enjoy seeing something like that.
Yeah. All right, moving on. We have Blue from Big Brother. She was on season 25. If I bring up this list just to see where she finished.
I've never watched Big Brother.
I have not either. She
I've
was
tried,
evicted
did
on
not like
day
it.
86. So she went about 3 months minus 2 weeks in the game. She was just short of making it to the end,
Oh wow.
which is interesting. And also just notable, she goes home on day 86. I guess there was a twist or something. I didn't watch the show either, as you know. But another player that's coming up on this list also went home from Big Brother 25 on day 86.
Okay.
So
Uh,
maybe the Big Brother people can tell in the audience can tell us if there's any history there, what we can expect, if there's a Blue America relationship, if it's a rivalry. I'll ask our friend Kyle that question actually, who's starting a Big Brother show on our channel
I saw
probably
that, yeah.
tonight. He'll be my expert for everything Blue and America related on this season. But no, I'm friends of mine who do watch this show say that she was a very strong player, very social, very physically fit. So she should be a good asset to MTV. And it's also nice that we're getting Big Brother players that aren't Josh and Casey season after season after season.
Yeah, I have a bias against Big Brother players. I don't particularly like them.
Fair enough.
Hopefully this can change.
Hopefully. Nick's new threat is Adrienne. She is British. Um, She was on a season called Married at First Sight, whatever that might be. I'm
I think it's on
assuming,
Netflix.
I was going to say, I'm assuming a dating show. Um,
Yeah. I mean, my mom watches it. I don't watch it, but
Fair. There's been quite a few seasons, so it must be popular in the UK. Um, I know nothing about her, but at the same time, if people who have came over from dating shows have been in any way an asset to the challenge, we got both Theo and Olivia from Love Island. So
yeah, and Georgia.
yeah, very true. So she might surprise some people, especially if they haven't heard of her before.
Yeah.
Next, we have Sydney. Full disclosure, I'm cheering for Sydney this season. She was my favorite player on Survivor 41. Ever since Survivor 41, I've been saying that she's probably a better fit for this show than she would have been for Survivor.
Hmm.
Sydney is, I mean, if you follow her online, you see her running over across the Brooklyn Bridge pretty much every day. She's a very good tennis player. She travels all over the world, has those social skills, meeting new friends in all different countries.
Hmm.
So I think she's going to do amazingly well. In Survivor, she exited pre-jury, but she should have went to the final five. And then Jeff decided to say that you can have an hourglass twist, and Sydney won a challenge and therefore got voted out. Make that make sense. I mean, people say that Horacio and Derek was unfair. That was unfair.
Yeah, I've also seen her on kind of like getting into Corey or whatever. She just seems like somebody that is not gonna take people's shit in the house, and that's something
Oh,
I love to see.
absolutely. We saw that, I mean, on Survivor, that she was probably very outspoken. We see her on social media, very outspoken, not only about reality TV, but also about her opinions about ongoing world events. She doesn't care if she pisses off people in the reality TV audience. And that just tells me that in MTV, she's going to be great in the house. I'm almost like, could you imagine if Sydney and Turbo are working together in an episode, or maybe even for the whole season?
Arguing.
Possibly arguing, but possibly just being this dominant force that nobody can beat.
I hope so, but I would also like to see those two argue. I feel like it'd be entertaining.
That would be incredibly entertaining. All right, moving on, we have Justin. Um, Let me check where
He's
Justin is
from
from.
Cheer.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't think either of us know anything about the show.
No, it is a Netflix show showing NCAA cheerleading teams. So no, I've never heard of it. I think it'll be probably neat to see. So I guess that's the great part about rookies is you sometimes find cast members that you know nothing about. I randomly stumbled across a British show while flipping channels called Love Island and watched it for 22 seconds and found now that Olivia is one of my favorite players and Theo's one of my favorite players.
Are
So,
you watching the season?
here and there. You?
Yeah, I've been watching it every day. Ugh, don't even get me into it. Anyways.
Anyone from that season you think might be good on 42?
Um, that's a good question. I feel like because no offense to MTV, I think that Love Island is a big show that it's harder to get people to cross over because people are already being influenced, being spin-off shows there.
Fair.
I would want to see Pepe on the challenge.
Nice. Yeah, that would be interesting. All right. Moving in, we have a new threat, America. She is who I was talking about earlier. She was
Mm-hmm.
eliminated the same day as Blue on season 4, on Big Brother 25, day 86. The season went 100 days apparently, so they both almost made it to the end. So they certainly have the experience avoiding being sent home. Um,
Social game skills. Because I feel like
exactly.
that, I mean, I don't know. I don't watch Big Brother, but I feel like that's pretty important there.
And America is in a relationship with Corey Wurtenberger from her season of Big Brother. They were a showmance on the show. Now have been a couple for the last 2 years, I believe it is. But fun fact, Corey is, do you remember Survivor 42, Zach, the guy who went home that Marianne liked?
I didn't watch 42.
Okay, so Corey from Big Brother is Zach's brother from Survivor.
Oh, really? That's
Yeah,
weird.
who's America's boyfriend now.
Yeah, that's like the only season I haven't watched.
Fair enough. Moving down, we have Jeremy. I've seen Jeremy here and there on Amazing Race. I've watched that show, but there's been so many players that I've have a lot of it mixed together. But if I pull up,
Very athletic.
Yeah, absolutely. He was on season 35 of Amazing Race. With his brother. He was eliminated 5th. So clearly, in a short amount of time,
Made a good enough impression.
made an impression that MTV wanted to pick him up. He raced through Thailand and Vietnam and India, so not the easiest start to the Amazing Race, getting hit by culture shock and then going home in Jaipur, India, right before they proceeded on to Europe after that.
Okay. Yeah, I don't really watch The Amazing Race, so I mean I've watched before. It's not something I watch every season though. But yeah, he looks like he'll be somebody that'll do pretty well.
Yeah, absolutely. Moving on to Will. It's been a while that we've got a lot of cast members from Are You the One? And
Or
now
even any MTV shows, really.
Yeah. But it is the show after all that did give us Tori, that gave us Devin, that gave us a number of players. So it's Are You the One's a big part of the challenge community. I mean, it gave us somebody named Amanda that I'd rather not talk about. But Will is also the second Canadian to be on the show.
Okay.
Despite being on Are You the One as an American show,
That's weird how
he grew up in
put Canadians on Are You the One before the challenge.
Yeah. Will grew up in Montreal, Quebec, but he is also a actor full-time and lives in LA.
Okay, interesting.
So he's moved from Canada to the US to work, but he was born in Canada. Hence why Gagnon is a very popular French-Canadian name that probably Americans are going to mispronounce all season.
His last name?
Yeah. So that'll be interesting. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing him play. And I mean, I think it's the first time that, I mean, we've obviously had reality stars, but I think he might be the first player that's in the acting business to be coming over to the challenge.
I feel like Jordan is an actor, not a well-known one, but
interesting. True.
Maybe they're just in such small roles we don't know really anything about.
Next, we have somebody named Tay Wilcoxon. She was on Big Brother Australia 15. Tay won Big Brother Australia.
Interesting.
So Dee is not the only winner coming in to this show.
As a rookie, yeah.
As a rookie.
I mean, if she won Big Brother, she clearly has a lot of good social skills and is a good strategic player. So I could see that transferring pretty well onto the challenge.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. I have to laugh where we were just talking about American Big Brother and I don't know if you remember the conversation with Michelle and Emmanuel about like how Michelle was like, I won Survivor that was 39 days, and Emmanuel's like, my Survivor was 6 months. I'm laughing at this right now because we were just talking about 2 Big Brother players, which was Blue and America getting eliminated on day 86 and winning Big Brother Australia. Tay was in that house for 25 days.
Oh,
So it's I guess a very different game.
that's a vacation.
I'm not Australian, so I've never even knew that they had their own version, but I guess it's
Mm-hmm.
a thing. Next, we have Leonardo. Oh, from Love Island USA. So Olivia's not the most recent Love Island USA player.
What season was he
Let
from?
me check. Season 5. So they've brought someone in from the Peacock era. That's interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting. I haven't watched that season. But yeah, I'm interested. I
He
feel
was
like the Love Island people do pretty well on the challenge, clearly. I mean, Olivia, Theo.
he
So I'm
and
excited for them.
Cassandra, who he was coupled up with in Love Island,
Oh, Cassie, yeah.
went to were together from day one and were the runner up of the season.
Okay. Yeah, they brought
So
back Cassie went back on season 6 for a little bit. So
makes sense. So he's clearly gone far in the game, but just didn't win. I mean, correct
hmm
me if I'm wrong. I think you win that by the audience. So
yeah.
who's to say that he's not did any worse at the show than a winner? Nobody.
Yeah, clearly he's pretty well liked if he got runner up.
Did you see the story about from Hannah about how close Love Island and Survivor are filming to each other right now?
I did see
I'm
that,
like,
and
this is just ridiculous.
I've also seen, I don't know who posted it, but somebody, I think Kelly posted something on TikTok about it, but she has heard that they can see like the lights of the villa
Yeah, that
from their
was in
island.
that
Yeah.
interview that apparently they can see like the pink neon lights from Love Island while you're on the beach starving with no food in playing Survivor, as Hannah from Survivor 33 J season put it. I can only imagine if Coach is thinking that it's a higher power with neon lights in the sky speaking to him, or Christian is going to try to understand the science of why there's neon lights in the sky, not knowing that they're just filming another reality show one island over.
That's so funny if they didn't know that. That's crazy.
Okay, moving down, we have Jake. We'll try to get through the rest of this relatively quick because I've got to go back to my job soon. um, where was Jake? Oh, that's because I'm on the Love Island cast page. I'm not on the um challenge cast page. Speaking of Love Island, Jake was on Love Island UK 7. So
Okay.
he has a show in common with Theo. Um, he and another girl he was with, apparently, according to the Wikipedia article, Liberty, were together. And once they broke up, they both walked off the show, as opposed to trying to find a new couple and keep playing. So,
Interesting. Maybe a little bit of drama.
yeah. He's also, despite that happening, though, he was brought back for Love Island UK All Stars. So clearly, production thought he had something to offer.
We'll have to see how he does.
We will. Moving on to Izzy.
Too hot to handle.
He
It
was
looks
from Too Hot to Handle 3 on Netflix. I know nothing about this show. Do you know anything about how it works or what it is?
it's like a dating show where they like can't touch, and then if people touch, then they like lose money. I
I
don't really
see.
know. It's not sure about it.
I mean, she
Haven't
looks like she's very tall in that cast photo and probably could have some advantages in climbing and reaching
her
for.
bicep looks big too,
Yeah.
or tricep.
So we'll see what she brings. I've never heard of her before. But next we have Cedric from Big Brother 26. That was last year's show, which,
Okay.
as the audience already knows, we know nothing about. But let's just see how he did.
I wonder if my bias against Big Brother players is going to switch after this season.
We will see. He was the fourth person eliminated on day 31 of the show. But Cedric is a former member of the United States Marine Corps.
Okay.
So
yeah.
that's interesting to be on the challenge. He clearly has some physical training. Maybe
Mental
there'll be
training.
mental training. Maybe there'll be a connection between him and Aviv through a joint military background.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have Ben. Ben is a professional boxer. Never been on reality TV before. So he has something in common with Theo. That's about all we know from him. Lots of people have something in common with Theo on this season, whether it be coming from boxing or from Love Island UK or whatnot, but that could put him and Olivia in a very good spot.
Yeah, and people don't really know anything about them. So it's interesting to see how they're going to do and how they're going to transition into TV.
Yeah, exactly. And that is the end of our cast. Any last thoughts on anyone before we wrap up for this week?
I think we got a lot of big names, especially obviously on the vet side, but the rookie side also had a lot of very big names. I'm really excited for this season. Again, we haven't had rookies in a while. And yeah, can't wait for a couple more weeks and we'll be back talking about the show.
Absolutely. I'm going to post this on the weekend, so I'm sure people will start seeing it on like Sunday with us posting Tribal Council chat on Saturday. Next week, I'm working overnights. The show hasn't started, so we'll be off. We'll be back in 2 weeks after the launch special to talk about that. Anything that we find out there, maybe some more information about these newer players that we know nothing about, and we'll get to see their move into the challenge house. And then from there, we'll be into the first episode on the 30th. I'm sadly not going to New York City this year, a little too busy for that. But the last two premieres were so much fun. So I hope everyone who is going to Challenge Mania has a great time. And we will see you all then.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for listening, and we'll see you in a couple more weeks.
Yeah. Bye.